Alright then guys, hello and welcome back to a new episode. It is lovely to see you on Sunday. In this one we're having a look into Naked Brands into the next week, but on top of that we're having a bit more of a fundamental analysis tonight on the plans for the business which could send it flying. Now of course we were anticipating doing this yesterday on Saturday, but of course I didn't make any videos, so we are doing this in this video. We're combining the next week's look forecast and of course the actual fundamental analysis on the company and how it could be moving into the future. So guys, obviously I am not a financial advisor, so use this video for entertainment purposes and nothing else. But with that being said, if you will enjoy it, please do leave a like and subscribe. It would be appreciated, as you will be helping us to grow the channel, and of course make sure to turn on the bell notification. With that being said guys, let's jump into the video. Right then guys, we're going to start off on the Nasdaq page, and we can see that Nasdaq has an article here which is talking about the plans that this company has to basically improve its share price. Now of course we're going to be reading out what some of these things are and how they could definitely improve the business and of course help it to make more money and subsequently hopefully improve the share price. So of course these are a few of the things which Naked plans to do in its new business model. So we can see guys, the company has announced that it will be shifting to e-commerce and its online platform. Now first of all guys, this is obviously very smart move because basically it's unfortunate, but at the minute especially not a lot of people are shopping in store. Obviously a lot of people can't shop in store for safety reasons with the virus and other things like that. Basically mean that moving to online is going to be a smart decision. On top of that guys, this whole market sector with the clothing and whatnot is kind of moving online anyway, so it's just a smart business decision overall for the long term, and I think it really will hopefully pay off for this company in the future. So obviously guys, on top of this, Naked will be diversifying its Benetton subsidiary, which will basically handle physical retail locations. So this kind of is an interesting one. I think it's a bit 50-50 because obviously this is physical retail. It definitely depends where their revenue sources are coming from. We'll probably look at that in a different video, but obviously this one could also be helpful, but I'm not too concerned about this one. So on top of this one guys, the company will basically be selling off the business to executives of the company apparently. I don't think that's too interesting, to be honest. We're just going to focus on the more interesting parts of this one. So basically it will continue to earn a percentage of revenue from profits generated by Bendon, and of course the brand will also work to use these funds to further growth its e-commerce network. Again guys, a very smart move in my opinion, because obviously e-commerce is the future, and whether you like it or not, it's kind of here, and it's probably just going to be growing into the future from what we can tell from surveys in the market and all that kind of stuff. So it's again another smart decision. So on top of that guys, the company will be using features that benefits its user service, and of course another smart move guys, obviously just looking into this company and what they do to be as customer friendly as possible is not a bad thing. And of course there are a few other things which the company does intend to do, such as acquiring other e-commerce brands and expanding its own platform. The company will also continue to focus on intimate apparel as it expands its business, and of course on top of that it intends to generate roughly 20 million annual revenue in the US. So obviously not the worst business model going. Obviously they are trying to improve the company, and that is a good thing. I think this is kind of what has sent the share price increasing into the future. So of course all of these things kind of leave people optimistic as to where the company is going future bound, and of course right now I think what guys, there is still a lot of potential in this company. Now when it comes to an actual price that we are seeing right now, I think now isn't the worst price that we have been seeing. I think back here at about $1.65 we are definitely a bit overinflated, but I think now we're in a much better position. And the reason why I say that guys is because yes, this company absolutely does have the potential long term, but obviously it's going to be hard for the company to turn itself around. So that doesn't mean it's impossible guys, but right now I would still consider this one more of a speculative play, and of course that's not bad. Some people do like going in for a speculative play, but at the current price and the inflation that we have been seeing in the share's value, I don't think it's the worst time to buy, but I think obviously it's still more risky with it being a penny stock and with a lot of the things which a company tend to do not being 100% implemented yet. So guys, with that being said, I think when we are looking into Naked brand stock, it's obviously a decent buy if you are willing to take that risk. It definitely does have big turnaround potential for the company, and we could see the share price increasing into the future. If I think that this one is going to increase guys, I would say it would be over the more long term period, and when I say that I'm talking about over the next 6 months to a year, I think we definitely could see decent growth. But obviously on the short term period we also do have some big potential for growth if this one does continue to get more hype. Now of course looking at this one over the past 5 days, we can see a lot of that hype was still in the stock until about the 3rd of February, where a lot of it actually sold off. Now in my personal opinion at this point, I think a lot more people chose to get in, seeing this one as a decent buy, and that forced it up by another 37%. But unfortunately guys, from that day we can see that on the 4th up until now we have been decreasing in price by a significant amount. If we can get a percentage on it, you'll see that we are down down by about 17%. So of course the share price has kind of flattened out, but it is still going down, unfortunately. On the end of Friday's session, we can see a little bit of a pullback towards the end of the day, but obviously it wasn't significant enough to bring us back into the green for the day, unfortunately. And this kind of does indicate that next week could see a bit more sell-off action, but also does have potential to come back up into the green. So guys, if I had to put my personal opinion on this one, and of course I am not a financial advisor, I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw a bit of a sell-off in the first few days, and I don't think it would be too significant. I think it would be relatively flat, like what we have been seeing over the past 2 days, and I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I don't think it would be by too much, and I think, you know, that does kind of indicate that the stock does still have some strength in it, and obviously that is a good thing as well. And of course, looking at this company long term, the potential absolutely is there. So next week, I think it definitely could bring us back. I don't think it will bring us back into the green, but there is still potential of that if enough hype does get into it. But either way, I wouldn't be too concerned because, like I said, I'd be holding this one for the more long term period. I think it's a case of a lot of people got a bit too hyped on this one a bit too quickly, and of course that has sent the share price flying. But of course, from that point, we are actually looking at this one decreasing a bit, which is not great, but it does happen from time to time. So Naked is in a much better position than we were previously. I would definitely be waiting until Monday or Tuesday to see how this one moves, to give a, you know, update on it, and of course talk about buy positions. But I think now isn't the worst. I think that we could probably get a better deal if we wait until the next week, and of course the earlier part of that. I would definitely wait until this one flattens out a bit before I would personally purchase it, and of course I would only purchase a small amount because it is still a speculative play in my view. And of course, yes, the potential is there, but it is still carrying a tremendous amount of risk because we have seen the share price rocket in the past few days, and of course that all obviously does carry some risk with it. But yeah guys, Naked Brands is a very interesting one. They are looking to turn around the business. I think this definitely could work out for them if they do it successfully, and of course if they carry on being true to their word, and of course doing what they are talking about doing. So that would be very beneficial for the company, but we'll just have to see how things play out. So I wouldn't mind placing a small position in this one in my personal view, but obviously it is still more of a risky position, but there is still some big rewards to be made over the long term period. So definitely guys, keep this one on your radar. I can see a lot of potential coming for it, so I hope you enjoyed this quick video. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye until then.